Lovely. So we're going to start sitting for this practice. You could be sitting on a block or just straight onto the floor. If you have a brick handy for later, that might come in as useful. So take a few moments to settle so that you're able to really have a sense of dropping down through your sitting bones and your hips. You might like to soften a little bit in the side waist. Really, you want a sense of lifting up with a delicate dignity up and out of the pelvis, but without being rigid. Softening your shoulders away from the ears. Softening your lower jaw away from the upper jaw. Taking some time to feel the ground beneath your seat, supporting you as you lift up and out of your seat. Noticing the quality of your breath this morning. And if you're feeling particularly sleepy and tired, or maybe you feel alert and fresh, just taking note of how you're feeling is a little bit of a baseline to come back to. So you for yourselves can gauge the effects of a practice. And you might like to set yourself an intention for this practice. Something you really need from the practice. And then from here, either with your eyes closed or open, beginning to take little circles in the hips. It's as if you're stirring the base of your spine into the bowl of your pelvis. And the circles can be small or they can become larger. That depends on you. Breathing as you feel into whether there's stiffness, or whether there's a sense of freedom in your movement this morning. Then you can take those circles in the opposite direction. Noticing how your weight moves from one sitting bone to the other as you circle. And then slowly bringing yourself back to stillness. And taking your fingertips out to the floor. So you have a sense not only of your sitting bones in contact with the floor, but your fingertips earthing you. We're going to move with the breath. So allowing the breath to move you as you inhale, floating your arms up. Your fingertips might touch, they might not. And allow the breath out to float your arms down. And take a few rounds by yourselves in your own time. Feel your fingertips as part of the movement. And then next time you come up, as you exhale, come down to the right, either onto your hand or your forearm. As you reach with the left hand and arm and feel into the left side of the body, really drop into that hip. And then next time you inhale, press into the right hand or forearm, come all the way up. And then exhale, come over to the left. And again, in your own time, take a few rounds. You might stay down for a few breaths, or you might keep moving. Keep dropping into the hips and breathing into the side body. Maybe doing one more to each side. And then meeting at the top on an inhale. And as you exhale, we twist to the right. So left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. And have a little feel here. Have a little feel. Maybe you can lengthen the spine a little on a breath in. And receive your twist into the right side of the body on a breath out. And take another breath in and out like this, exploring the feelings of this rotation. And then next time you breathe in, coming to the front. And then taking your twist to the left. Really feeling it, not being mechanical, but feeling every molecule of sensation right now. And then in your own time, taking your twist once more to each side. Slowly waking up this morning. And then we'll meet at the front again. Inhale. And then turn your torso over towards the right knee. And as you exhale, come down over the right knee, spreading your hands out in front of you, but rooting back into that left sit bone, possibly pressing a little bit into the fingertips and breathing here. Where do you feel it? On an inhale, coming all the way up again to the front. And exhale, rotating a little to the left and then sweeping yourself down beyond that left knee. Rooting down into the right sit bone as you press into your fingertips. Breathe. Inhaling, come up to the front one more time. And this time as you exhale, you come down the center and take your hands out in front of you. And as you press into your fingertips, maybe feel back into each sitting bone. You might even sway a little. So you have a sense of opening the back body, but also rooting through fingertips and sitting bones. And then bone by bone, lift yourself up. And take a moment, maybe eyes open, maybe eyes closed, to simply feel the effects of that opening sequence. Do you feel any different? Is there a sense of freshness, especially in the upper body? Maybe not yet. And we're going to lift our right foot in front of us, hold it with the left hand, hold the knee with the right hand, and have a little stir around here in the hip. It could be slow, you could be small, or you could be a bit bigger. And you could reverse the direction. So feel around, it might be your thing, it might not be so accessible. And some of you might be able to take the foot into the crook of the elbow and the knee into the crook of the other elbow. And you can see here, I'm flexing my foot and drawing my lower leg right in, parallel to the floor, right into my chest. So this is called rocking the baby. And you have a little rock. It feels like pigeon. You'll feel it down here. Breathe. A little bit of a hip opening. And then let's take that to the other side. Just gently release the right leg with love. And we start off gently. Just stirring into the left hip in one direction and then the other direction. And if this is already challenging for you, you do a little bit more of this, or if you would like to come into the full rocking the baby pose, you can do. Breathe. It's really funny how this feels very different in the morning to when I taught it on Monday night. Body opens by the evening. But arguably it's much better for us to do yoga in the morning when we're fresh and stiff. A good night's sleep. Take a breath in and then please release your leg gently. You might want a little rub of the legs. Shake, little circle into the ankles. And then bringing yourself back into as close to a cross-legged position as is possible. If you're sitting on a block, it would be time to come off that now. Your hands are on your knees. And as you breathe in, allow the pelvis and belly to spill forwards, the chest to open, shoulder blades to squeeze back a little. And as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis back, pull your hands on your knees to scoop the front body into the back body. And continue. So cat-cow movement with the spine. We're in a seated position. And it's absolutely fine for you to continue mobilizing the spine in this way, waking up the abdominal core in this way. Or maybe some of you would like to, as you come back, lift your ankles into half boat. My ankles are crossed. Change the cross of the ankles as you come down. And there are various stages to this, and you just go as far as you like. Maybe at some stage you uncross the ankles. Maybe you take a couple of breaths, charging up the depth of strength and muscle in your abdomen to stabilize you. It may be at some point you fancy straightening your legs completely. Really feeling into your fingers and toes, breathing. I'll give you one final option of Navasana boat, and then I'll leave you to choose where you want to be. You could do one of the former ones, the half boat, the full boat, or maybe a little twisty boat where your legs go in one direction your torso and arms in the other, to get into the oblique muscles, the side waist muscles. Breathe it. And the tighter your V, the stronger it is. And you might find, because we've been doing this in a lot of the classes recently, you might find that your strength is increased. And taking one more breath. And then as you exhale, coming forwards, sliding your feet forwards and releasing your torso forwards as well. Breathing out any residual tension in the lower back after Navasana, boat pose. From here, gently coming up bone by bone and bringing yourself over into an all fours position. I'm beginning to circle a little in the hips. Just a little bit in one direction and then a little bit in the opposite direction. And then it'd be nice, having done the flexion and extension of the spine in sitting, to do some just simple cat-cows in all fours, just to see how much easier it is to mobilize the spine and the pelvis here. You go super slow, feel your way up and down the spine. Okay. And then coming to a neutral point, curling your toes under and sitting right back towards your heels. Take a moment, we're going to come into downward dog, but take a moment to feel your feet here. The more weight you can take back towards your heels, the more you'll invigorate the soles of your feet behind the toes. And become very quiet in yourself here. And then only when you're ready, beginning to lift your knees off the floor. And you're sitting back and then beginning to lift your bottom, unfolding your legs as you slowly open into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. And what I'd like is for us to move in and out of this pose a few times before you take a few breaths and you stay in the pose. So you come down, come up again. This is just very good for your legs. One of these times you come up, you stay up. You might take your hands and your feet a bit wider apart and just take a few breaths to feel the fullness of experience in this pose. Breathe yourself alive. And then looking towards your hands, walk or step your feet forwards. And inhale into a flat back. Chest coming forwards. And then exhale, fold completely. And taking 3 or more full breaths here as you root down through your feet, you lift your sitting bones up. Relax the shoulders, the neck. And feel into the back of the legs this morning. Really pressing into the balls of the big toes, pressing down. And then a little bend in the knees as you inhale and you come all the way up. Exhaling, hands to your heart. And coming to step towards the front of your mat for some Sun Salutations. Breathing in, sweeping your arms up. Your pelvis might float forwards. And breathe out, fold. Taking your chest forwards, swan dive down. Inhaling to a flat back. And then step or jump to your plank on the exhale. And take a breath here. Feel your strength, feel your stability. And for this first Sun Salutation, on the next exhale, we all drop our knees, release the toes, and roll slowly down over the front of the body. On the inhale, roll your shoulders to your ears, peel up the chest, and the head comes last. You don't need to come too far. Exhale, come down. On an inhale, come to all fours, and then downward dog. Exhale, breathe here. Taking the tops of your thighs up and back, and see how this lengthens the side body a little, from the hips to the shoulder, or the hips to the armpits, I should say. Looking forwards. As you inhale, you can walk or step or even jump your feet forwards, and you come into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Big breaths, exhale, and we go straight into Surya Namaskar A one more time. Maybe we do 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest comes forwards. Exhale to step or jump to your plank and hover here for a breath. You might want to come down the way we came down before, where you drop your knees and roll down. Or maybe you drop your knees, cross your ankles, take a breath in. And as you exhale, keep your elbows right in towards your ribs as you drop your chest. But then you push up again. We take some little mini push-ups. Until with one of these push-ups, your chest and chin stay on the floor. You release your feet. So we're in Ashtangasana, 8-pointed pose. And then slide your knees away, your chest comes forwards. Really activate the back muscles to lift the chest. And from here, push yourself straight into a downward dog. And breathe. Maybe beginning to feel a little bit more invigorated. Looking forwards, step, walk or jump. Then inhale into your flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Third Surya Namaskar A, inhaling. Really getting things going with these sun salutations. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step to plank. Exhale here. So we've come down 2 different ways already. We've come down knees and rolling down. We've come knees, chest, chin. You could do one of those, or maybe you're feeling strong today and you can slowly lower yourself down. Elbows right in towards the ribs. And from there, peeling your chest up, really activate the back muscles. Downward dog. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lifting and separating your sitting bones towards the ceiling. Looking forwards, walk, step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And use your next breath in to bring you up. Exhaling, hands to your heart. Take a breath here. Feel your feet. And it would be normal if your breath was a little bit perturbed from sun salutations. We're going to take sun salutation B. This class is bringing a little bit more stamina into our practice, stamina and stability. So really feel the feet as you inhale and lift your arms up. And exhale, sit back into Utkatasana chair. Tuck your tailbone under, side waist draws back. Relax the shoulders. Take another breath in. Exhale, fold completely. Inhale to a flat back. And then step to plank. Exhale. Take a breath in. Choose your way down to the mat now. I've given you 3 options. Find your back bend. Downward dog. So from here, we take the left foot down at 45 degrees. Look forwards and step your right foot towards your right hand. Then from the ground, come up for warrior 1. Inhale. Exhale here. Take another breath in. As you exhale, come down to plank. Choose your way down to the mat. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot at 45 degrees, left foot comes forwards. Really find the ground here and from the ground lift. We take an extra breath just to feel the stability of our Virabhadrasana 1. And then come down. Find your plank. Come down your way. Find your back bend. And then either come to breathe in downward dog, or if you're feeling tired, take this as an opportunity to rest in child. Looking forwards. Walk, step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale to a flat back. But now exhale, sit into your chair. Float your arms up past your ears. And breathe, looking for length in the side body. Inhale and exhale, push yourself up. We're going to do one more, but without all the planks and things. Might do one plank. On an inhale, find your length, lift your arms. Feel your feet. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Take a breath and then exhale, fold. Inhaling to a flat back. Find your plank, last plank. Come down to the mat. Find your back bend. Downward dog. This time we'll start with the right foot down, 45. Bring the left foot forwards and come up. Take another breath in. And then we simply bring our hands down into downward dog and take the foot back. Left foot down, right foot forwards. From the ground, come up. Take another breath in. And find your downward dog. And here I'll give you a choice. I'm going to come straight down with my knees apart, big toes together for a wide angled child's pose. You could stay in dog. Or if you're feeling energetic, you could float forwards to plank. Bring yourself down, take your back bend in your vinyasa. And then take a few breaths in your downward dog. And then looking forwards, if you're in your child, gently bringing yourself into downward dog. So you can walk your feet to your hands. And this time we'll just gently roll up. Taking time to feel the body now. The breath. Maybe you're more aware of your skin than you were before. Okay, arms by your sides. Feet parallel, could be a little way apart, could be a bit more apart if you wanted. And inhale, lifting up your arms. And exhale, stay here. Really be aware of the full length here of the body. From the soles of your feet lifting. You can tuck the tailbone under a little, so you're already beginning to activate your core. Take another breath in. And then sit back into chair for a few breaths. So we're not flowing through it now, we're staying. If it's too much for your shoulders, you release the arms to parallel. You should be able to see your toes. Keep sitting back, tucking the tailbone under. Take a full breath in. Probably feel your thighs now. And exhale to lift. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. Okay, we're going to do a variation on Utkatasana. We can start with our arms out in parallel, palms facing down. We're going to lift our heels off the floor. So on our toes, and see what it feels like to sit back in chair like this. Heels lifted, you might come down a bit, you might come down a lot. Breathe. Relax the face, relax the shoulders. Take a full breath in, and then use the breath out to lift you. Keep your heels off the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Well done. We'll do one more of those, and you can keep your arms either parallel to the floor or lift them. So I'm going to try with my arms lifted up by the ears. So you start by finding the length. Then lifting your heels. By tucking the tailbone under here, you're activating your abdominal core a little. And from there, find your way down, steady, stable, breathing. Eyes soft. Smiling. Take a full breath in and then use the exhale to lift. Inhale here and exhale. Well done. Take a moment to feel the body, feel the breath. And we're going to use some of this strength, this stamina to explore standing poses, possibly with a brick if you need one at home. I'd like you to come to facing the long end of your mat with your feet astride apart. Take the brick over to the right-hand side for now. And just for a moment, I want you to really feel through the feet as you inhale and lift up the left arm and exhale, slide down to the right. So we're just accessing the side body again a bit. You'll find your hips float to the left and then inhale to the top, exhale, release. Inhale, the right arm lifts. Exhale, come down to the left, float your hips to the right. Take a full breath in. Exhale to release up to the top. Let's do that one more time on each side, just to really access this sensation in the side body, lateral flexion for the spine. Take it your own time. Grounded through the feet. Fabulous. And then take your right foot to point forwards. You could have your brick either inside the right foot or outside, or not use it at all. And before you do anything, I want you to really hug the muscles to the bones of the legs. So you're completely strong here. And you could float your toes off the floor so you're not tempted to grip your toes. And then let's float our arms up, parallel with the floor. Relax the shoulders. And you're going to begin to reach to the right as your hips float to the left, creating as much length as possible. Legs are working. And then you hinge. And your hand could come to your shin, to the brick. Left hand to the hip. And then from here, begin to peel the left shoulder back. So you're spinning the chest. Now this might be enough for you, or you float up the left arm. And I'm going to leave you to breathe a few breaths to really feel the fullness of the experience of the pose from the inside out. You can always float your arm over your ear if you want that experience. You could always float the lower arm up to be parallel with the raised arm. Taking a full breath in, and then exhale as you look down, you bend into that front knee. You gently come up. Bring your feet back to parallel. So classical pose with Tita Trikonasana. Let's take it to the other side. Left foot out, you might take your brick, you might not. Really aware of the legs working as you float your arms up. Begin to reach to the left as your hips float to the right. Long, long, long in the side body before you hinge. Right hand to the hip. Then you begin to spin the chest, look over your right shoulder. Float up the arm if that's right for you. And you're looking for an axis from your right fingers to wrist to shoulder, your left shoulder, wrist to fingers. Straight line. Head in line with your spine. If you want the variations of bringing the right arm over the ear, floating the left arm up, go ahead. Take a full breath in. Look down as you exhale, bend into that knee. Inhale, come up. And step your feet together for a moment. You're feeling a bit more awake now. 2 more standing poses. I want you to face the front of your mat with your brick on the right-hand side of your foot, on the side of your right foot, excuse me. And then simply take a step back with the left foot. Not a massive step, just a little stride. Make sure that your feet are apart rather than walking a tightrope. And we want, the whole point now is to really feel your weight distributed between both of your feet rather than pouring into the front foot. Lifting up the right, up left arm. Inhale. Exhale, rotate towards the left with the upper body. Take another breath in, so we're finding more length. And on the exhale, come down halfway. So you're reaching to the right. Keep drawing that left hip back, weight between both feet. Inhale. And then if it's available to you, bring your left hand down outside the right foot onto the brick or onto the floor. Take a moment to really feel what's going on with the feet. Are you pouring everything into the right foot? Can you take some weight back? And then inhale for length in the torso. And as you exhale, begin to look over your right shoulder, a little twist here. So we're looking for stability. If you feel stable, float the right arm up, look up towards the ceiling. If you don't feel stable, look at the floor, keep your right hand to your hip and breathe here. You need to keep floating the right hip back, as it'll help you bring weight into the left foot. Take a full breath in. And then as you breathe out, please look down, bend into that right knee, and bring your brick around in front of the right foot, if you're using the brick. I'm going to move into pyramid pose, Parshvattanasana. Back leg is straight and strong. But inhaling now, float your chest forwards with the right knee bent. We start like this. And then as you exhale, begin to straighten the right leg, draw the hip back. Allow your upper body to come down over that leg. And we'll move into it again. So on an inhale, bend the knee, float the chest forwards. And exhale, straighten the leg. And we come down to stay now. Breathe. You don't want to lock out the knee, front knee in this pose. A little bend is good. Keep drawing that right hip back. Weight into both feet. Next time you inhale, look forwards, bend into the knee. Excuse me. Exhale here. And we bring ourselves around to face the long end of the mat. You can bring your brick with you into a wide-angled forward fold. Breathe. And then please turn your heels in, your toes out. Bring your hands to your knees and gently lift yourself into goddess. Float your arms up. Tuck the tailbone under, knees are out. Breathe here. Wide across the collarbones. Keep pressing into the heels of your feet. Inhale. And on an exhale, lift yourself into a star. Take a full breath in. And exhale, float your arms down. Step your feet together to prepare to take those poses to the left. So your left foot is forwards, brick outside the left foot. You take your right foot just a step back. You feel the pelvis, you don't want it swiveling, you want it squared off to the end of the mat, weight in the back foot and the front foot. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, rotate to the left. Take another breath in. And then come down halfway, so you're reaching here. Legs are strong. Breathing in. And then maybe your hand comes to the brick or outside the left foot. And you keep drawing this left hip back as you rotate the chest, looking over the left shoulder. Maybe you float your arm up. Don't forget to take the weight into the back foot. Don't forget to breathe. One more full breath in, and then gently look down as you bend into that front knee. Bring the brick in front of your foot if you're using the brick. Inhale, float your chest forwards, really pressing into that back foot. Exhale, begin to straighten the front leg. Hip comes backwards as you bring your torso down over the leg. And one more time, let's inhale to bend and float forwards. And exhale to fold completely, to stay. Keep drawing the left hip back and apart from the right hip. And breathe. One more full breath in. And then exhale, bend into the knee. You can take your brick away from you. As you walk yourself around, face the long end of your mat. Heels out, toes in. And dangle here for a few breaths, allowing everything to flop from the pelvis towards the floor. But the legs are working. Wonderful. And then bring your heels in a little, your toes are out, hands to the knees. So you're using your hands to push your knees apart as you lift up the torso, ready for goddess. Really press into the heels of your feet, tuck the tailbones under. Maybe lift your arms and breathe here. Keep sinking back into those hips. Take a full breath in and then use the ground and the exhale to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Take a moment to feel the body. We've got one challenge before we come down to rest or come down to unwind. I hope you're okay. Yeah, good. So I think we practiced this challenge last week, but we've hopefully developed a bit more strength. I feel I have, at least. The only trouble I have in this strange house of ours is that the floorboards are completely uneven, so I don't feel very stable on my feet for a balance. I'm going to go for a pose which is called Eda Pada Utkatasana, which basically means one-legged chair pose. And some people will be able to take this right down into an arm balance, much more advanced than I can do. And it doesn't matter where you are in this pose, the point is that you focus. So I want you to really press into the left foot as you come to the right big toe. And then you lift that right ankle over the left knee and you flex the right foot, easing the right knee away from you. So it's like a little pigeon pose. And with your hands on your legs, you can sit back into your chair. And you sit back as deep as you can into your hips. And maybe you float your arms up parallel or up past your ears, and you keep sinking into your hips. Keep tucking the tailbone under and breathe. Take a full breath in. And on the exhale, push yourself up. Lift that right knee up on an inhale. Exhale, float the foot down. Well done. We'll take that to the other side and then I'll give you a variation. Right leg is strong. You're lifting the left heel just to gauge that you're about to balance, but your big toe is still on the floor. It does help to bend the right knee a little before you lift the ankle across the knee. Left ankle, flex the foot, ease the left knee away as you begin to sit into your chair, one-legged. And your hands might stay on the leg, or they might float forwards, they might float up. Breathe. Keep sitting back into the hips. It's like you're separating your sitting bones. Inhale, exhale, push up. Inhale, lift the left knee and float it down. Take a moment to feel the body. You're rubbing your hips there. A little shake. So it may be that the final variation just isn't for you right now. We are going to come to lie on our backs after this. So do feel free to do that now if you don't want to just have a little play. I'll be a little bit faster. Let's bring yourself into one-legged chair with the right leg over. But some of you might be able to sit back so far you can bring your fingers to the floor. It's a big balance. Then you can sit back so far that your right foot curls around the top of the left arm. And your right knee presses into the top of the right arm. So it's like a crow pose. You're creating a shelf with your upper arms, and you're taking your weight forwards, bending at the elbows and sliding that left foot away from you. So this is probably as far as I can come into this pose. I don't know about you at home. Might be you stay here and you keep dropping into the hips. Some of you might be able to lift the back foot off the floor. Some of you might be able to take a full balance with the left back leg extended. Or like me, you might be ready to take that to the other side. Definitely brings a lot of heat into the body, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's just have a play on the other side, just for symmetry's sake. Left leg over. Sitting back down as far as you can sit to take your fingers to the floor. Or taking one of the variations we did before. So the trick is to sit as deep as you can, otherwise you won't be able to get your hands to the floor. Take the weight forwards to create the shelf in the upper arms. Work that back foot back. Maybe you hover here like me, just taking the weight forwards. Maybe some of you can float the back foot off the floor. And then we gently unwind. Take a moment just to feel the body. Please come to lying on your backs. And all we're going to do is take some very simple movements to unwind from a strong standing practice today. I'm going to teach a few minutes over the hour. Hope that's all right for you at home. Take a while just to feel the simplicity here as your breath steadies. You feel your feet on the floor, your back on the floor. And you might want to be very gentle with the next little movement of a moving bridge. Pressing into your feet, peeling the tailbone up as your arms float up. Your pelvis floats up and your spine floats up bone by bone. And then use the breath to gently come back again, bone by bone. Keep going in your own rhythm. We're unwinding now, so there's no effort, just feeling. You can take as many breaths as you want to lift. As many breaths as you want to come down. If you want to stay in a back bend, you stay in a back bend. I'm just doing one more. And allowing your knees to float into your chest, having a little rock from side to side, or a little circling of your knees. In one direction and then in the other direction. And then please take your feet to the floor, wide apart, so that your knees fall in towards the center. Put your arms up and back, however they're comfortable. And begin to slide your right knee down the left, to the left, towards the left heel. Your head rolls to the right, your left leg will simply roll out to the left. And then you use the left knee to begin to come back. You look towards the ceiling, your thighs will probably be crossed, and you keep going, sliding to the right and your head to the left. Slow and easy windshield wipers. And I'd like you to do a few moments of this as slow as you like, just to feel any residual tension in the body rinsing away. Any tiredness dropping away. If it feels nice to stay on one side for a bit, you can. And then when you're ready, you come back to neutral. Again, float your knees in towards you, take them with your hands, and have a little roll or a little circle in one direction. And then in the other direction. We'll take one final little happy baby pose. So take the knees wide apart, soles of the feet towards the ceiling, either holding the legs or holding the feet. Long in the back of your neck. As you ease your knees down towards your armpits and breathe, trying to flatten your lower back against the floor. Take a full breath in. As you breathe out, bring your knees in together, have a little hug, and then prepare for Savasana. If there's anything else you want to do, go ahead. It'll probably feel pretty good to rest now. Because of the kind of practice we've done, I would recommend resting with your legs a bit wider apart than usual. Just flopping the feet out. Arms away from the body. If you set yourself an intention for your practice, you could invite it back in now. Giving yourself permission to rest completely. Feeling the ground beneath you, so stable. Knowing that as we develop our own physical stability and strength, this has ramifications for so many areas in our life. Physical and beyond the physical. How we face challenges, how we summon strength and stability and feel supported in doing so. And of course, you can stay for as long as you like resting. When you're ready to gently move on into your day, begin to take a few slightly deeper breaths, feeling the rise and fall of your abdomen with the breath. Maybe feeling the weight of your head as you gently roll your head from side to side. Bringing little movements into your fingers and wrists, your toes and ankles. Possibly rubbing your hands together quite vigorously. Taking the heat of your hands over your eyes. Maybe sliding your arms along for a full body stretch. Maybe bringing your arms around your knees to hug yourself into a little ball. Until you're ready to roll over onto one side. Resting here before you sitting. Try to keep your eyes closed just to keep the focus internal for the final few moments together. You might gather your hands together at the heart. And we're back where we started, feeling the ground beneath us, noticing the quality of sensation, the quality of the breath. Sense of the space around you. And taking a full breath in now to the heart. And with the breath out, sealing your practice, bringing your chin into your chest. Using your breath in to lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you very, very much for joining me. Namaste.